when at the antique show, I get people coming up and he said, I used to have that when I was a kid. I used to have that when I was a kid. And you hear that all the time.
This episode of Bring Back the Porch, brought to you by Bernie Leahy, River Street Realty. Let's get you home. Joining me on the porch this afternoon, this evening, whatever time you happen to be tuning in, is Tim Hittel. And for many years, you have been the man behind the Antiques and Collectibles Gun and Hobby Show. Welcome, Tim.
Thanks very much for having me.
How many years?
21 years this year on the antique side and 16 years on the gun side. And I missed 2 years with COVID, so it would have been 23, but time flies by. Like, I just can't believe it's been that long.
Yeah, and it seems to come up faster every year, like Christmas. It seems like you just put the tables away and it's time to take them out again.
Like it's only a week away to set up tables.
Yeah. What prompted you to start this?
I went to a Maple Creek antique show way before this started, and there was a bunch of vendors there. They asked, like they knew I was from Medicine Hat, and they said, how come there's nothing like that in Medicine Hat? And then I talked to some vendors there, and they said they would come if I'd put a show on in Medicine Hat. And then I started it and with the antique side. Then I done 5 years with the antique side. Then I made a trip to Saskatoon. There was a gun and antique show together. So I want to talk to promoter there and see how they were doing things. And they helped me along there. And then I started the gun side on the other side. It's been going ever since.
So it's almost like Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come.
They will come, yeah. And, I got some vendors there. They've been with me for all 21 years this year.
So it's like a family.
It's like a family, and you get to know these people. The gun side, they've been with me the 16 years, some guys. And they come in and know their faces, know their names, stuff. There's always new people every year, but it's been doing good.
Now, you are a collector.
That's right.
How did you get started collecting?
Well, when I was 12 years old, my grandmother lived beside the general store in Saskatchewan. And I'd go down after school and go over there. I don't know if you remember this. 1965, there was the Coke caps with the hockey players on top, and CFL players. I used to go to the general store. She lived right next to the general store. I'd go over, empty the machine out, and take all the Coke caps out in 1965. That's when I started. Then I quit again because I was getting older. But 1980, I started again. I've been doing this for 45 years now. I bought my son some cards back in 1980, and he got into it, and we both got into it, and now it's my 45th year.
Now, some people get into collecting because they like whatever they're collecting, be it hockey cards, baseball cards. And then there's the other people who do it as an investment.
That's right, yeah. There's lots of people that do it as investment. I've done it investment and collecting, but my house is pretty small for to keep everything. I like to have lots of stuff, but my garage is half full right now with stuff, and the wife said I got to start cutting back.
Do you still have the first thing you collected? Do you still have any of those bottle caps?
Yes, I know. I do have bottle caps, but I bought them.
Okay.
Like over the years, when they come up, I buy them, or I got a big complete set with the plaque. All the hockey Coke caps, they're on a plastic plaque, all the 6 teams. I have that. That's all original stuff, but I still have caps.
I think I remember as a kid, I think it was Salada Tea. They used to have the little coins that you would put into a board, and CFL, I believe.
I got lots of them.
Yeah.
Lots of CFL stuff from the 60s, 63, 65, whatever. There were Salada coins, and you got one in a package of Salada pudding, I think. It wasn't a tea or
pudding. Or tea, maybe both. Might have been.
But there were Salada, and I got probably 300-400 of them.
Yeah. Are we going to see any of that at the show?
Yes, you will.
You bring it out?
I always bring it out, yeah.
For nostalgia.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Not really for sale. Some is for sale, but I like to keep lots, but there's so much you can only keep, Yeah.
And that's the thing about collectibles. They're a touchstone to your past.
That's right, yeah.
And people see that and go, oh, I remember that.
When at the antique show, I get people coming up and he said, I used to have that when I was a kid. I used to have that when I was a kid. And you hear that all the time.
Yeah. Now, when we talk about antiques, how's the market been? Because that, I think, is an area where people buy more for value than maybe for use.
You know, it's the antique side has dropped off some. What's happening, the older folks are passing away, and the younger folks don't want the antiques no more. So it's getting less and less, the antique side. Like furniture and stuff, the young kids nowadays, they want furniture from Walmart. They don't want this stuff that's old and doesn't look good.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. Now, the other side of the show too is hobbies. Now, what kind of hobbies are you going to be if you walk through the show this?
Well, there's going to be coins there. Like there's people that collect coins, buy coins, and they also sell some of their coins. There's knives there. Some people just collect knives, like pocket knives. Like they'll have a couple 100 there, and they buy them. A lot of stuff is brought in, and they're sold at the antique show because these people have had it for 20 years, 50 years, and they decided. I have one vendor coming in. Their mother passed away, and they don't know what to do with these antiques. So they got a couple of tables, and they're going to put them on there to get rid of them.
Okay. When we talk about antiques, the one that comes to my mind, because I have 10 boxes, I think, China. China. It used to be valuable.
It used to be.
And
it's
now?
dropped off lots. Royal Albert was a big name, and it's dropped off lots. Like I know my mother-in-law, we had some China and stuff, and at one time was worth a lot of money, but it isn't no more.
Do you think it'll cycle around where if you hold on to it long enough?
It might hang on, or might come around again, just like cards. Like a few years ago, the hockey card market, the kids were knocked out of it because they're 10, 12, 15, $30 a pack. Well, kids can't afford that. So the more serious collectors are still in it, but it's not like it used to be.
No, I remember when I was a kid, you'd buy that package, you'd throw the gum away.
Yeah.
Because it tasted like the cardboard. But, oh, look, I got a Mickey Mantle.
That's right.
I got a Rocky Colavito. And then you'd say, well, I'll trade you, a Boog Powell for one of those.
Yeah.
And that's how we used to do it when we were kids.
Like when I was 12, 13 years old, the general store had cards too, and I bought packs of stuff. Like my team back in the 60s, Toronto Maple Leafs, like Frank Mahovlich and guys like that, they were my favorite. Dave Keon, and nowadays these kids that are out there, Connor McDavid, Crosby, they know them, but they don't know anybody from the 60s and 70s.
Yep. But they are collecting those cards. I know I've got grandkids that like them. So.
Yes, I see on the wall out here. There's Bobby Orr scores that famous goal. I watched that goal back in 1970.
Yeah, overtime, Game 4 against the St. Louis Blues in the Boston Garden, and Bill Kelly, I think, was the play-by-play.
Was
famous
he?
Call. Yeah. Bobby Orr.
Yeah.
Famous moment from sports.
Yeah.
Guns. You mentioned that you also have a large section for guns.
There's about 3 rows of guns and stuff. Not just guns. Like there's backpacks, there's scopes. Anything to do with hunting is going to be there. I have a guy from Edmonton. He takes 16 tables, and he brings racks of backpacks and hunting stuff. And he brings racks, and he unloads the racks out in the street or back there, and he rolls everything in. So he takes 16 tables, and I don't leave the tables there. I take them away, and he puts all his racks there.
Okay.
He's been there for a few years already.
And do they have antique guns?
Yes, there'll be antique guns, guys, and also, guys, 2 or 3 people buy guns. Like people have brought in over the years, they bring their guns in. We check them when they come in, and they take them to the vendors, and some are sold to the vendors. The vendors offer so much for each gun, and that's how they sell them. But there's so much. Like I said, I got 3 big rows of guns and related, like scopes, knives. Anything with hunting is in there.
Now, do any of the other vendors, the antiques, the collectibles, the hobby, will they talk to you if you say, look, I've got this here? Will they help you find a value for it, or maybe a market? What
they do, if somebody comes in, they bring an antique in, and I don't know enough about antiques, but the vendors that have been with me for 15 years, I send them over to them. and so they can give them a value of what they think it's worth.
Okay, and they're not going to go, oh, geez, here
No.
comes another guy with a $5.
I had somebody phone me here 2 weeks ago. I wanted to know what this thing's from the 1800s is worth. And I said, I haven't got a clue, but come to the show. There's going to be people that have that product there, and you can ask them what they think it's worth.
Okay. Now we're at the Cypress Center, the medicinehat exhibition in Stampede Fieldhouse.
Yep.
What are the times? When can people come?
Like Saturday, October 4th, we're open from 10 till 6. And then Sunday, October 5th, from 10 to 4, we're open.
Okay, and how much does it cost?
It's $6 admission to get into the show. In a way, it's, there's so much to see there that it take you hours and hours. Some people come back Sunday because they never got it done Saturday, because they stop at everybody and talk to everybody. Vendors come, or not vendors, but the public comes back sometimes 2 days.
Okay. I want to see, just to delve into your experience here for a moment, what's the most expensive collectible or card that you yourself have ever seen?
I didn't have, I had a guy that I knew had a Mickey Mantle rookie, 52 tops.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the guy lives in Vancouver. He buys all high-end cards. I picked up the card in Strathmore, and the guy from Vancouver gave him $65,000 for this mantle. 65 grand. So I got a certified check. I met him at the Calgary airport. I gave him the card. He gave me the certified check. I dropped it off at Strathmore. The guy, he was happy. At one time, he told me he would take 45, but I got him 65 for that card.
Pretty good.
And then last year, I was in Edmonton for a card show. This guy that I know in Saskatchewan had one. He brought it to me, and I took it over to the same guy from Edmonton or from Vancouver. He gave him $45,000 for that, ungraded. So that's the biggest cards I've seen over the years. Like I've had $2,000-$3,000 cards, but nothing like that.
I wonder how many I put in my bicycle spokes, because that's what used to happen to those cards.
Yeah, yeah.
With a clip, a laundry clip.
With laundry clips for clothespins.
Yeah.
Yes.
Stick it in there.
Yeah.
And you had a motor on your bike.
That's right. Yeah.
I wonder what the cost of that
was.
Oh,
like people bring me. Come into the show and they say, I had this, and I had this, and I sold it for a couple of $1,000 back then. I said it would have been worth $20,000 now if you'd have had it now.
Yeah.
But if you just don't know, it happens. Do you keep it longer or you don't and stuff?
Yeah. The other thing too is finding a value for something, because you can look on the internet and you go, that's crazy.
That's great. See, the thing is, on the internet, I use that. I go under sold. I don't see what it's trying to get, but I always look under sold, what they sold for. That's a lot of times how I get my pricing when I don't know anything about what's for sale or how much they're asking.
Yeah, and then you look at that and you go, oh man, I had one, I threw it in the garbage.
And Jackie Robinson 52. You remember that card? Mm-hmm. I had one, and the guy from Vancouver offered me $35,000. I refused it. Mm-hmm. I sold them for $19,000 after COVID. But you're greedy, and I was greedy. I wanted 45, and he wouldn't give me 45. He offered me 35 for it, and I refused it. And here I sold it here after COVID, because everything took off during COVID. Like they were at home, they couldn't spend no money, they couldn't travel, so they spent their money in cards and stuff, and that's why everything went crazy. And then all of a sudden, down it went.
The bubble popped.
That's right.
All right. Well, another edition of the Antiques and Collectibles Gun and Hobby Show coming up. Tim, thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me. Oh, I was going to mention one more thing. I have 3 charities that are going to be there, and Samus Rotary is going to be selling tickets there. And the Halo's selling our, their calendars.
Okay.
And Fish and Game are selling their memberships and 50/50 tickets. Every year I always have 3 there.
Okay, and that's Saturday, October the 4th, 10 till 6, and Sunday, October the 5th, 10 till 4, Cypress Center at the Fieldhouse, the medicinehat exhibition in Stampede grounds.
Right on.
Thank you, Tim.
Thanks very much, Brian.